Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a pretty exciting update here in regards to Age of X, but more importantly, finally information on how to actually unlock Charles Xavier himself. Sorry, guys, I know this came out a couple days ago, but life's been crazy busy, so we're just getting up to speed. But in case you guys missed this as well, there is a new blog post here, as you can see, posted on March 10th, and detailing what's going to be coming in terms of the pipeline. Now, having said that, guys, the really cool thing about this is that it is going to be very similar to what we saw with the Age of Apocalypse. I was a huge fan on how that was formatted, and there's a lot of pluses, and it seems like they've learned a couple lessons along the way, but at the same time too, they've also formatted this a little differently. So you can see, he's right around the corner, and it's going to be broken down into a few stages, but this is new and fresh. It's that there's actually going to be 4 bosses that we have to take down: Nimrod, Gladiator, Shadow King, and Dark version of Xavier. This is just a sample kind of snippet of what that boss is going to look like, but really cool that they kind of took in that battle world feedback and kind of applying it now in terms of a different kind of game mode. So that's really neat and different. It definitely paves way for some really cool different game modes that potentially could be coming now that they're implementing more of these boss mechanics. And you can see here, each chapter of the saga features a series of missions that culminate with a showdown against a different powerful boss. And again, they're going to be very different. They're not the same characters that we possess. What I really like about this is the fact they've given us full disclosure already. And keep in mind, guys, these items may be subject to change, but they've given us full disclosure on what exactly is going to be required now to unlock Charles Xavier and what's going to be needed in terms of team requirements as well. So you can see it depends on which difficulty. There's going to be 3 stages: hard, heroic, extreme. We kind of saw this with the Age of Apocalypse as well. They tailored the naming nuance to however you're going to be attacking that saga. But then you can see here as well, each difficulty requiring multiple missions and also needing to earn 3 stars on every mission in order to fully unlock. So keep in mind, this is going to be very different from Scourges. It's going to be very different from Trials. It's going to be treated more like that campaign stage where you have to actually, basically complete the mission without anyone dying on your team, and that's going to enable you to actually unlock that node with 3 stars. It's a massive multi-phase event featuring over 50 missions, and then again, there are going to be some specific trait requirements. We'll probably do a separate video breakdown on which teams and characters to maximize, and because there's also a timeline that they've also provided, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now we can start planning in advance and start taking a look at what that's going to look like. But yeah, bare minimum, it does look like Gear Tier 17 and 18 are going to be kind of that stage. So for those of you that are obviously still pushing and working on your commander level up, there's still time. 17 and 18 is generally that 95 level 100 range. So just be mindful of that, right? Okay, early missions will also reward valuable resources to help power up your roster for later, more difficult battles. But yeah, this is the full breakdown. Again, guys, I would take this with a grain of salt because there may be changes along the way depending on if they see that certain areas or certain stages are more difficult. But it seems like for the meantime, anyways, all the hard nodes, well, it depends on the boss, right? Each boss has their own kind of difficulty stage and mission. So, the very beginning with Nimrod, you'll need at least Gear Tier 17, and there's 4 missions. When you move your way up to Heroic, they add an extra mission in Gear Tier 18. But what the cool thing about this is that there's no trait requirement actually for Nimrod. So that one's going to be a walk in the park. Obviously, Gear Tier 19, for those of you that are still working on the Crimson Gear, that's going to be elevated there. But then we move over to the next boss, which is Gladiator. And you can see now they're specifically restricting just city characters, right? Doesn't say if it's villain or hero, so it could just be that broad tag, which is great. We have Shadow King here, which opens the floor up for global characters, villains global, and then heroes global. So because of them adding that extra little classification, I like to think that the city section for Gladiator is probably going to be a free-for-all. Fingers crossed that's the case. And then last but not least here, for Dark Xavier himself, it is quite specific. Cosmic, villains cosmic, and then remember, we talked about how Lalandra is required. Well, they finally have the time right there. Lalandra is required in addition to hero cosmic characters. And it does look like Gear Tier 20 is going to be that big bottleneck there. So thankfully, it doesn't seem like ISO 8 Purple is going to be considered. We'll see in the meantime if that gets added. But yeah, what's also important to note here is that unlike the past ages that we've seen, like for example the Apocalypse Saga, Xavier, he's going to arrive as a full 7-star unlock. So if you're able to complete the saga and all the characters required in the upcoming Gear Tier 20, you're actually able to get all 7 yellow stars. So that's really cool, just to finally have his full upgrade from the get-go when you're able to complete everything. What's also important to note though, guys, remember, Gear Tier 20 is around the corner in less than a week. So which means this is going to be coming likely up in the store, likely available in terms of some other game modes. Crimson Gear first got released in terms of raids, so it'll be interesting to see where this is going to be coming or tied to, right? So upgrading characters to Gear Tier 20 will also use these mini uniques, which will likely see them getting added in the coming weeks here. And as well, spending X coins in the limited X coin shops is also give us an opportunity to do that. So that's something to be on the watch for. Yeah, and yeah, that's great, right? All the information, like I said, full disclosure, and last but not least, they even give us a date of when this starts, which is April 14th. So mid-April is when we can expect all the Saga stuff to be fully released, in addition to obviously the gear requirement for Gear Tier 20 being next week. So guys, honestly speaking, this is a good roadmap right here. City, global, villains global, heroes global, cosmic villains cosmic, Lilandra hero cosmic. I mean, the good news is that a lot of these characters are probably already getting utilized in Dark Dimension, so we're gonna get some value there. But be very, very careful though, because in the coming weeks and months, remember, we don't really know how difficult this is going to be just yet. There might be some new teams around the corner that are specifically tailored to get through this easier. But yeah, I mean, in the meantime, right now, we can use some of the best characters for these categories. But yeah, the good news is that Nimrod, because there's no classification, will likely not have any issues. And then it only requires Gear Tier 19 as well, right? So Gladiator is going to be that start of Gear Tier 20, which I imagine is probably going to be the little crunch there. So yeah, save your gold, guys, save your resources. But chances are, if you already have some characters already in that Gear Tier 19 stage, Nimrod is basically a lock for us, which gives us at least the first boss completed there. And then we'll see in the coming weeks and months here. We'll prepare in advance, but in the meantime, guys, be smart with your gold, be smart with your investments right now, and remember to focus on the game modes you prioritize. But at the same time, there are a lot of teams that we can leverage on, and I'll be making a separate video on that, guys. But yeah, exciting times. Let me know what you think in comments below. Finally getting the confirmation and details for Charles himself. Super exciting. I can't wait to see his inclusion and what his kit's gonna look like once they officially announce that as well. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.